Okay, so here is the information that I put in the folder. It's focusing on pages 13 through 16. For this, you're going to want to read over this in advance. It only takes a little bit to read this, and then the class runs like a jigsaw structure. I have pieces of the text copied for the students, and you can give them packets. Have them pick which one they're going to do. We're not going to have them go in groups except for a couple of them, and then afterwards, of the 7 chunks of text, people will bring those all to it. So students will become experts of a chunk and then share their expertise with others. Just have them work through it that way, and then you'll see there's a place where you're going to go over vocabulary and definitions, and then we'll get into sketching. So, and here's your opening. I didn't have them do homework except for just to catch up on a little bit of the reading of what we did before. Actually, no, I did have them do some homework, but it's not going to be due until later on, so don't worry about that. And then for this, we're going to work through going over the gist, looking at a jigsaw, the different parts, and then getting into the sketches. So just focus on this. So right here are some of the I can statements, the learning targets. So I haven't been having them go into groups because they don't. There's only 9 of them. A couple of them can go in groups, and that's fine, but maybe 2 of them. But mostly they should work on their own with the 7 different pieces, and have them share out the meaning of the word chunk, which means a piece. Um, Let them know, hey, we're open up to page 13, and then follow along silently. Now, to get things started, read to them pages 13 through 16, and then have them talk with each other about what they think the text is mostly about. Most of them are going to want to share. Just call on 3 of them, and then give them the Rainforest Canopy task cards, and then give them 5 minutes to read the chunk of text named on their task card, and then have them, and again, like I said, have them pick which chunk they want. Then ask students to briefly discuss with their groups what this chunk means. Now they're not going to discuss within their groups. They're just going to think on it, maybe take some notes, and then share what they are, have them go through it in order. So you read it to them first, then they look at chunks, and then right here, encourage them to reread the text and look for any key vocabulary words. Let them know they can use post-it notes as evidence flags. Put those throughout the text to write down questions that they have. They're very skilled when it comes to a lot of things. Among them is annotating, and you'll see. Well, you'll see a little bit later on. It talks about Jigsaw 1, sketching the gist rather. They can sketch the gist from a text. And for this, give the students 2 index cards. In the table on the right, when you write enter the room, underneath it there are some index cards there. And then on it say, in a few minutes we're going to do a matching activity. You will be given 2 index cards each. One index card, write the number of the chunk of text that you read, 1 through 7, and on the gist statement about that chunk that you wrote on the note catcher. And on the second card, sketch a picture of your gist statement. They'll like this. It should be good. Some people will like it more than others, but get them really exercising their understanding and expression of their understanding. And then if there's time, you get them to match a just statement with the picture. So for this, you can give each student two index cards. I'm sorry, each student puts their two cards on the table and mix them up and see if they can put them together. And it's just a fun thing to go over the seven different chunks. So what you have for the students, here is an example of chunk number one. You would give this a number one, and it has the key vocabulary there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. And then for this, this is for you only. Chunk one, it tells you the definitions of the words as well. And then for them to get the gist of each one. So if you had chunk number one, you'd already do number one, and then everybody else would copy that down. And that's pretty much how that day will go.